At the time of your daughter's conception, was there any other person besides Mr. Newton that you were sexually active with?
Yes.
It's the state's understanding that state and mother are in agreement that this be a final order today. The state will have Child Support Officer Rogers testify regarding her findings on income and locate. But it's the state's understanding that testimony will support a final order in which Mr. Newton is named the father of the child. An order for parentage testing was done in this case. However, Mr. Newton failed to appear at three specific appointments. Mother will testify that the last known area she was aware of him being was Austin. She'll also testify to having had recent communication by phone with Mr. Newton, which would rule out any incarceration. Testimony will show that the child is currently on Medicaid, which may end in October. However, testimony will show that a renewal application has been begun. The state is seeking child support from the father in the amount of $181 per month as current child support beginning September 1 of 2023. Cash medical support would be $18 per month, also beginning September 1, 2023. Testimony will show that the mother is aware of the father having two other minor children whom he has a duty to support. And that is going to be a reason she believes he failed to appear for the DNA testing because he knew that what that would mean. Additionally, mother is seeking retroactive child support going back to the date of the child's birth, which is in the amount of $2,024. And the state would ask for repayment in the amount of $60 per month on top of the current child and medical support. As far as the parents being conservators of the child, mother has no safety concerns and is fine being named a joint managing conservator with father. She would be primary, no geographic restriction. She would like the child's last name to be changed to Caron-Newton. And then the possession order, Your Honor, would be modified rather than 6 visits at the first level where it's supervised for 4 hours. She's asking that it go to 8 and that each of the subsequent unsupervised ones be 6 visits per step, and that exchanges occur at the Colleen Mall in the food court. I believe, Your Honor, testimony will show that one concern of the mother's is that she would not like for the father to bring the child around a family whom she is not aware of until, of course, she's gotten to meet them first. And given the modified steps, Your Honor, that certainly could become a likelihood that she is familiar with them at that point. And finally, with regard to non-disclosure, it's my understanding that she does not have any concerns about her physical address appearing in the court's order, and she and the father do communicate through phone, and she's fine with that continuing.
All right, anything else? You muted. You went mute.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, then. Scroll, where are you, ma'am?
All right.
All right, I'll ask both you and the CSOs going to testify at this time to raise your right hands. Do both of you solemnly swear or affirm your testimony you're going to give here today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
I do.
I do.
All right, you're both officially under oath and the state may proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Kyra Rogers. Ma'am, what is your full name?
Kyra Rogers.
How were you employed?
I'm employed with the Texas Office of the Attorney General Child Support Division.
And in your position, what do your duties include?
My work involves conducting detailed investigations to locate absent parents, establishing paternity, enforcing court orders for child support and medical support, wage research, and responding to customer inquiries.
In this case, was any of that done regarding Mr. Newton?
Yes, ma'am.
Please describe what was done and what you found.
Okay, doing a detailed wage investigation, I found no wages reported for the year of 2023. I found 2022 had no reported wages for quarter 3 or 4. So in regards to this case, going back to when the child was born, there was not any wage information available.
And based on that, ma'am, how were you able to calculate support?
I calculated support based on minimum wage presumptions and then also giving Mr. Newton credit for 2 other children outside of this case.
And Ms. Rogers, were you able to hear the numbers I announced to the court?
Yes, ma'am.
Were those what you had calculated?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Rogers. Your Honor, I pass this witness.
All right, thank you very much. Ms. Caron, do you have any questions of CSO Rogers?
Yes.
What's
You
your ma'am?
said that you didn't find any wages for 2022,
No reported wages, ma'am.
but that's when we met, and when we met, he had a job like at the beginning.
Okay, well, ma'am, the state saying they can't find anything that's with, the state gets their information based on the mainly based on the tax that the employer pays in for employment purposes, either unemployment tax or other matters, and there were none reported for him, ma'am, for under his name or social security number.
And there, Your Honor, there was reported wages, but they were prior to the child's birth.
Okay. Any other questions, ma'am?
No.
All right, do you know what he does for a living, man? Oh, well, we'll get to you in a moment anyway. So anyway, I'll let this, may CSO Rogers be excused, Ms. Bungat?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, man, we'll
Thank
get
you.
the testimony from you, and let's see where we end up with this one. Anyway, you can call your next witness, Ms. Bungat.
The state calls Shannon Caron. Ma'am, what is your full name?
Shannon Marie Caron.
Who is the child in this case?
Camille Elizabeth Caron.
What is Camille's birthday?
10/14/22.
And is it correct, ma'am, that you are her mother?
Yes.
Were you married at the time of your daughter's birth?
No.
At the time of your daughter's conception, was there any other person besides Mr. Newton that you were sexually active with?
Yes, but we like that other person, we started messing with each other after maybe about 2 weeks of not hearing from him, from Darius.
Was that other person ever excluded by negative DNA testing in that case, ma'am?
No.
And so, ma'am, was that person besides Mr. Newton informed that he could be the father?
Yes. But we kind of just ruled it out because at the time that when I did find out that I was pregnant, it was at the end of February, and I had already like been 6 weeks into my pregnancy, and me and the other dude had only been actually going out for a week.
And ma'am, you understand that DNA testing was ordered in this case, correct?
Yes.
Did you and your daughter both get tested?
Yes.
And as far as you're aware, has Mr. Newton gotten tested?
No.
And ma'am, has Mr. Newton denied that he's the father of Camille?
No. I mean, well, he hasn't denied it, but he also hasn't said that that's my kid due to text messages.
Your Honor, given the testimony that's come in, the state offers into evidence at this time the confirmation of non-collection and leaves it to the court whether it's comfortable moving forward.
All right, ma'am, this is the the confirmation of non-collection involving the alleged father in this case. Is there any legal reason I should not allow this in evidence at this time, ma'am? Ma'am, is there any reason I shouldn't let this in evidence show that the dad, that he didn't show up for the DNA testing as ordered?
No.
All right. This is stakes exhibit number 1. It is admitted. You may proceed. At this time, Ms. Bongard, stakes 1 does show that on least on the occasions of, and I'll just be specific, on the 21st day of June, on the 25th day of July, and on the 14th day of August of this year, there were 3 appointments set up for the alleged father in this matter to appear for DNA attorney analysis. He did not. So that's prima facie that the reason he didn't show up because he knew the results would show that he was the father, and the court will duly note, and you may proceed at this time, Ms. Bongard. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Caron, were you able to hear my opening statement?
Yes.
Was that your understanding of the issues we were asking the court to approve as an agreement in order today?
Yes.
And so, ma'am, how old is your daughter at this time?
She's 10 months.
In that time, ma'am, have she and Mr. Newton ever met each other?
No.
Has he ever provided support to you for her?
No.
All right, ma'am, but given all of that, despite the unfamiliarity and lack of support, you are asking this court to go ahead and name Mr. Newton the father of your daughter and include his last name in her surname?
Yes.
And how long, ma'am, did you know Mr. Newton before you and he stopped seeing each other?
A month.
And so, ma'am, based on the information you do have, you are comfortable being named a joint managing conservator with him of your daughter, while you would have the superior right to decide where she lives and receive support?
Yes.
And as far as his income, ma'am, are you aware of him actually being an employee as opposed to an independent contractor or self-employed?
I'm sorry.
You said he had a job when the two of you met, is that correct?
Yes.
Do you know whether he was working at the time your daughter was born?
No.
And so, ma'am, other than the fact that you knew he worked at the time you met, do you have any problems with the numbers calculated by my colleague?
No.
How does your daughter have health coverage at this time?
Medicaid.
And for that reason, ma'am, you understand that the state is requesting that Mr. Newton pay the $18 per month in cash medical support?
Yes.
And ma'am, is it correct that Camille is not Mr. Newton's only child?
Correct.
How do you know that?
Because when we first met, he brung his daughter, I want to say his oldest daughter, when we first met. And then after my daughter was born, my sister had been on his Facebook and found out that he had another kid and was at the birthday party or whatever. So.
And based on the information, ma'am, that Mr. Newton has 2 other minor children besides Camille, you understand that's why we calculated at 16% rather than 20%?
Yes.
As far as your contact information, Ms. Caron, do you have any concerns about your physical address appearing in the court's order?
No.
And going forward, ma'am, if any of that changes, would you have any problem updating Mr. Newton if he has decided to become involved in Camille's life?
No.
And at this time, ma'am, you and he communicate by phone?
Yeah. Text message.
When is the last time you all communicated?
I want to say hold on, I can give you an exact date. It was Tuesday last week.
And ma'am, are you aware of Mr. Newton having any type of criminal history or anything pending?
No.
And so, ma'am, the description I gave the court of the visitation you're looking at, was it accurate that you'd like for exchanges to occur at the Colleen Mall in the food court?
Yes.
and that until he has completed 8 visits where he gets 4 hours on a Saturday supervised by you or someone he designates, he does not get to just take Camille and go off on his own.
Yes.
And then assuming he does all of those 8, ma'am, you understand that he would be entitled to 6 visits where he'd have 4 hours to take Camille and then bring her back to you, all of that still at the Colleen Mall.
Yes.
And then finally, day-long visits for 6 periods before he gets the Saturday into Sunday. And then finally, the standard possession order.
Yes.
Was there anything else, ma'am, you wanted the court to consider at this time?
No, I mean, it's not that I want to like cause any drama towards him or his family. I just want him to acknowledge that he does have another kid out here. That's it.
And ma'am, since this court has been set before Judge Nelson, has Mr. Newton ever participated in any way with the hearings?
No.
And so, ma'am, each time you've appeared in court, he has been a no-show?
Yes.
And was the DNA testing ordered, ma'am, at your request?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Your Honor, I pass this witness.
All right, then, Ms. Mongat, Ms. Caron, I'm looking at going ahead and make a determination based on these circumstances and Dad's failure to cooperate and do the DNA test. I'm going to find that he is the father. I'm looking at naming the parties joint management service, giving the mom the right to decide domicile. I'm looking at doing the break-in visits as requested by the mother. Ma'am, it's problematic for me to order who he gets to go hang around with once he starts getting the child, but he's under a legal obligation to keep the child safe, and that's all I can do under those circumstances. I'm looking at naming, going ahead and ordering temporary child support and temporary cash medical as requested by the state and is testified to by the child support review officer. I'm looking at ordering the retroactive child support and repayment as requested, and any and all court costs go to the non-custodial party. And like I said, everything else that the state and the mom are requesting we do here today, I will do it, including the name change that reflects he is the father also. Is there anything else that the state's requesting we do here today, Ms. Bongat?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Caron, anything else, ma'am?
No.
All right, the state's going to prepare an order and circulate it to you, ma'am. May Ms. Caron be excused, Ms. Bongat?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, we're free to go, and good luck to you and your daughter, okay?
Thank you.
All right, you take care, and we're off the record.